All right, folks. So I'm back. Today I'm finally about to get the chance to do the passenger side. So I gotta take this bezel out and take these headlights out, and then I'm gonna show you guys what I was trying to modify on the bucket. You're gonna see this bucket, how I cut it up real bad trying to get it to work with those other LED lights, but end up not working out with those lights, and I'm not able to like reuse the bucket. I mean, it's probably like reusable, but as far as like being able to like fully adjust this headlight like I'm supposed to, so I'm gonna go ahead and finish up and put the new OER buckets in there. So we got the so I'm down to two trim rings and the remaining two buckets that I'm about to put in that bad boy. So yeah, for you guys who are wondering if these work perfect on the 73 Chevy Impala, could these right here say they work on I want to say 1974 and up. But these work perfect. I guess once I actually put them in here, I'm gonna find out. But the driver's side went perfect, so these I shouldn't have no issue on the passenger side. But if I run into something, you guys are gonna see what's gonna happen. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this bezel off, get these things ready to get installed. And just like on the other side, once I so basically I'm gonna get in there and test fit them, and then I am gonna have to like kind of test fit the lights a little bit, and then kind of mark a section and modify. I'm gonna have to cut like a little, I'm gonna have to trim a little notch out so that the new LED lights will just fit flush down in there. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this show on the road. All right, so here we go. It's just 4 screws. Got like 1, 2, 3, and 4 screws. So I would probably recommend that, you know, if you guys gonna use a powered screwdriver or battery powered screwdriver, that you use something that's got a like a torque setting, so you control how much, basically like a clutch system, so you can control like how much tension you putting on the screws. Because like the older cars, it's like a little piece of plastic in there, the retaining clip. You can replace them if you find them, but the thing is, you want to be careful not to put too much tension when you tighten these things up, because you could wear that plastic out and it's not gonna grip and hold good. So that's just one tip. But basically, if you think that, you know, you got like, if your screwdriver is a little bit too powerful, you may just want to use a manual regular screwdriver, so you don't end up stripping out the mounting. Bad boy out of there. So you want to be careful with your bezel. Make sure you set it somewhere, you know, nice and good, so it don't get, you know, scratched up or whatever. So in some cases, you know, dealing with something on the older car could be kind of delicate. But this one right here is in pretty good condition, but I'm gonna set it out of the way. I got a piece of cardboard on the floor. I'm just gonna set it down. Alright, so another thing I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna put this, I got like a little spare towel. So while the grill is out, because I got this little fiberglass piece here for the bumper filler, so I don't want to put too much stress on that. So I just kind of, just in case I drop something, I just want to make sure I don't scratch that area up. So then I'm gonna get in there and tape the buckets out. Alright, so what I'm gonna do, I got me a couple pair of pliers. I got some needle nose, and then I got like some little these are like kind of like wire cutter pliers, and sometimes you kind of use them to kind of like trim back like some thin aluminum or metal or whatever like that. But basically I'm using these to pull my spring back, because it's a spring that's over here down there, like the ones that were on the other side. So basically I'm gonna get that spring unhooked. You can also, it may be sometimes easier to use these, but I like using these. So I just get in there like that and pull it. But you know, it's not like you're trying to cut the spring out. I think I just dropped the spring, I dropped something. But so this right here what I got. So what I was doing then was just disconnecting basically some of the connections I had already wired up. Like pretty much I already had fabbed up and wired in a harness on this side here. Just like I did the driver's side. I did this side first. But basically right here, this the headlight bucket right here. So this is the main reason why I wanted to replace the headlight bucket, because I cut it off and modified it to the point where basically I can't really use it. And this is what a lot of the other manufacturers want you to do, is kind of cut the bucket off like that into a ring. And the heat sink of those other styles supposed to be able to fit through here, but I couldn't. I was just having to trim too much metal to the point where this ring was just getting weak. So, and like you can see right here how it's not even flush up against here. That's how flimsy it is. Is, you know, you got that much space. So I wasn't really comfortable with that. So that's what made me want to try to search for some old buckets. But instead of trying to like get on eBay and try to track some down, which I was trying to do that too, trying to track some down for, like, you know, that's compatible, that would work. But then I came across the OER ones, and I did find some for the 73 Impala, but they was individual. And I think they only fit either the outer or the inner. And then I came across the OER set that had the buckets and the trim rings, so that was just a better way to go. But I just didn't know 100% if they would work out in here. But what I'm about to do right now is I'm about to go ahead and I'm gonna show you guys how I'm gonna test fit this to make sure that I'm good. Alright, so when I first removed that bucket, like I mentioned that I had a spacer or something in there. This is kind of like a, I don't know exactly what this is, like I don't think it's a shock spacer, but it belonged to like a car part. It look like it's some type of cushion or bushing. But I had this basically in between right here and right here, just to kind of keep it spaced out, so it'll be level. Because this particular light right here would wanna kind of come down like that. So I had to kind of place this behind like that. I had to have that kind of behind the headlight bucket, because because I didn't cut it. I cut it down so bad. But so what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna test fit the OER bucket on this side. All right, so I'm kind of close up here, so we kind of see what's going on. But basically, these adjustment pins here, they got like a little groove right there where this notch right here is gonna fit. Now, I mentioned before that these right here, that these are basically, they got letters on them, A through D, A, B, C, and D. So this right here is D. So I'm suspecting that this one should be on the right side, the farther outer. So I'm assuming it's left to right, A, B, C, D, just based on the orientation. So when you get this kit, it's a left and right side, driver and passenger. So basically, that's gonna fit up there in that groove, and it's gonna go in that groove there. And you can see that's perfect. That's right on the money right there. And then your spring, this little pocket right here is where the spring gonna go. So these are real easy to test fit. But it looks like I need to bring my adjustment out a little bit just based on how this thing just been sitting. Because I mentioned that I modified the original buckets that was in here to work with those other globes that I had on here, those other aftermarket globes for the HIDs that I had back in the day. All right, so this right here, that old rusty spring that's coming out, and we got new replacement spring to go in here. So that's basically just gonna go right there. And so I'm gonna go ahead and try to pre-adjust this thing a little bit so it fit better. That way it's prepared. It's just kind of sitting in a little bit too much. So that ought to do it right there. All right, let me go ahead and hook the spring up. I can test the spring. So right now I got the needle nose. So I just got to grab them good. So you see that thing fitting in there real nice and snug. Alright, so now I'm actually getting over here to my little work table here to kind of, I got to take this old ring and this old trim off. So basically, as I mentioned on the other one, like the old trim ring, it could probably be reconditioned and polished up or whatever, but it do have like a minor dent here. But that's because when them original, the aftermarket globe, which I'm about to show y'all real quick. So these right here that I had the HIDs in, like you can kind of tell like these globes, they kind of poke out the ring a little bit. But even though these are kind of replacement for 5 3/4, these because this is kind of tapered a little bit, but they kind of stretch out the ring a little bit. So to make the ring fit, you kind of deform it a little bit on these when you're putting these in there. So that's the main reason for that. But the trim ring can be straightened out. So of course this bucket here is trash. So I'm gonna go ahead and take these screws out. That way I can test fit and get ready to transfer this over to the new one. So that's the trim ring right there. So, I mean, I can kind of clean this up and probably use this on another project or something. It just need just a little bit of TLC really. And and I can kind of get like a trim tool or something or a plastic wedge and straighten those out. But for this right here, we got new stuff. We got brand new. All right, so this is a new LED light that I'm taking out of there. And I also mentioned that I had this one upside down when I initially put it in. That's just because the way that this was fitting in there, that's the only location it would really fit, would lock in. So that's why I had it upside down. But as I showed you guys earlier in the video, just me test fitting, comparing to the rest of them, when the low beam is on, you can see the pattern is like flipped upside down. And the pattern is kind of like a little, it's almost like a little, kind of like a little straight line and a little minor triangle. So basically, instead of that pointing down like it was on the driver's side, it's kind of pointing up. And also the way that light was positioned, I don't really think it would like blind oncoming traffic, but if it was on the driver's side like that, it would. But in certain situations, you know, it is aimed so much higher than it should be. But I'm gonna toss this in the trash right here. It's the old ring. So this is basically what you got to do to get some of them to fit. But I can't make that one fit. But basically, I destroyed it, and it's so flimsy, like it's pretty much gonna break. It's like there's nothing there. So this right here is trash. Alright, so actually what I'm doing now with this bucket sitting in here, I'm gonna show you guys how I pretty much kind of, you know, like kind of mark it to determine where it's gonna sit. Cause when I started filming and making this video, actually I was explaining, this is actually basically I ordered all these parts. I was actually hoping that the buckets would work, because these right here were for a different application. So they say, I figured theoretically they should work, but basically this is my first time kind of coming in, trying and testing all these parts, and they're actually working out. Like I got new springs, I got the OER, I got lucky and got the buckets with the trim rings. So that's a big plus right there. So it's pretty much like I'm kind of, you know, putting back all new stuff. So pretty much the earlier part of this video, I'm gonna pretty much try to keep this as one video if it's not too long. Hopefully I don't have to break it up into two. But pretty much before and then I had some more stuff to do that day. So pretty much I kind of was making that more as an overview, but now I get a chance to kind of like show you guys some of the actual steps that, you know, I'll be taking as I kind of go through. You kind of see me go through and do the harness and everything like that. But as I mentioned, like this side was the first side I initially started with. So basically right here where this thing say DOT SAE, so that means that this is road safe, and it's you can actually use it on the highway. I mean on street roads. If it don't say that and it don't say anything about it in your instructions, it's a possibility that it's just it's an off-road product. So basically what I'm doing now is I'm just kind of clocking this thing and trying to get it to sit almost straight. Cause you can tell it's not sitting flush. It's kind of aimed towards that way, but this right here will be more toward flush and level. But I'm just trying to get it in the ballpark of where I want it to sit at. And then once I do that, once I get it pretty much level, then I kind of make like a little mark. So typically what I do over here. So typically, this is what I'm gonna mark over here. But I'm gonna mark a few millimeters, like 1 or 2 millimeters up and then down. That way I can actually have some room to turn it inside the bucket. Like let's say when I put the trim ring on, if I need to move it up or down, left or right, or whatever, I got like a little leeway. So I actually just kind of come in here and just put me a couple of marks in the way it's gonna sit. So I kind of put a mark right there and right there. And then I kind of just kind of come through and just transfer it over a little bit, because I actually got to cut this like a couple millimeters down. So I kind of do something like that. And it's already a groove right here. So I'm kind of trying to make this almost as deep as that. So I need to go down to about like right there. And then I have like a little notch. So basically, I'm gonna do this to this one, and then I'm gonna get this one prepared to do that to that, and then they'll be ready to go in there. Another thing I do got to do is I have to. I don't really have to bench test them in the same manner because I already kind of tested these. I know they work, but these outer arrows to the, well, it's to our left, but it's actually the passenger side of the car. So if you was inside the car, it'd be to the right. So this arrow here, this left arrow here, and this left arrow here, these are going to be my turn signal indicators. So I've already got my wires in there pre-wired. I just got to double check this right here because I believe now I need to use this brown wire versus this this gray wire because I had this upside down. Wait a minute. In this case, this right here is for the daytime running light. This grayish, that gray wire is for the daytime running light. So I think I need to use this blue wire, but I need to make sure. So I'm gonna go ahead and just get all this prepared, get it ready, set up, kind of like I did the other ones. And then this side right here, I'm gonna be ready to get back together. All right, so here we go right here. So I just got through making the modification to the buckets. So basically cutting out a groove right here. So this one right here, I maybe made it a little bit kind of too deep because I was just kind of, it's just close to this thing right here. That's actually, no, that's not the spring bucket. That's the, so the spring, the part where the spring goes is right there. But you see how it's got these other notches. I was trying to get it kind of close, but it is a little deeper. But it's okay though. But that's pretty much what it looks like right there. So got it all. I did that with this bower here. So just like I did earlier in the video, where I got like a little footage of me doing that. So pretty much just kind of cut it out around the mark I made, and then kind of got this little file and got it cleaned up. So basically filed it out just to make it smooth, to get rid of those rough edges. You know, make sure that there's nothing that's gonna stick you and stuff like that. So basically when you get done with that, your headlight gonna fit in the bucket like this right here. So you see right here, it's pretty much in there flush. When I put the trim ring in, it's gonna bring it down a little flusher than that. So that right there is a notch right there. And then you see I can move this. I got some movement to where I can, so basically if I marked it just straight where it's at, if it's off a little bit to the left or the right, then I wouldn't have that much adjustability. But by me making the hole, by me making the groove just a little bit wider, I kind of got some adjustment. So I could put it in the car, test fit it, and then I can loosen my trim ring and kind of get it exactly where I want it. And then once I get it pretty much level, I can snug down the trim ring. So I'm pretty much just gonna go ahead and start putting these together, and then I'm gonna get my Power Probe out, test the turn signal side, so I can make sure I'm on the right wire. And then from there, I'm gonna put these bad boys back on in the car. Alright, so before I wrap this video up, I wanted to get some footage on what the LED headlights look like in the car. So I got some time while I was out driving the car today, just to kind of get a little footage of what they look like. So on the passenger side, I wrapped that up a couple days ago. Got the buckets in, and I showed you guys like how that was my main reason for replacing these, because the bucket that was over here, I had to cut it down to try to make some other LED lights work, where the heat sink was just a little bit too wide to fit, and end up, you know, weakening the trim ring that ended up cutting out. But got the OER headlight buckets, got the whole set. So new headlight buckets, new trim rings, new springs, and new screws. So it's basically for the headlights, a whole new setup there. So that right there is just kind of like when you had the park lights on. That's what it looks like when the park lights on. It's kind of like a nice little, it's like some rounded arrows that's on each each end. So they look pretty cool. So I'm gonna show you guys the turn signals in a second. All right, so this right here is the driver's side turn signal. So hopefully my camera picks it up. Sometimes LED lights are a little funny with cameras, but yeah. So I got like this is the left side, the driver's side. So I got where the outer rings of both lights that's closest to the left side work when the turn signals are working, and the regular daytime running lights, those are actually attached. Those are running out the park lamp signal. Where the park, basically what supplies power to the park lights. That's where I got those. Put on your 4-way flashers, all of them flash. All right, so I just turned the high beams on there, so you can go out, take a peek. That's it right there. So when you turn the high beams on, they put out some pretty good light. So I'm very happy with it. All right, so I'm back home with the Chevy. I've been driving it pretty much all day. Probably put about 60 miles on it. Drove it to work and back. So I just wanted to get some footage of how bright these LED lights are. So I'm waiting for my garage light to turn out, and you'll be able to kind of see how it's projecting on the wall there. I did have to adjust the headlights some. So using my macro Phillips head screwdriver, I was able to pretty much adjust it. So I got them adjusted a little bit better. Just with driving the car at nighttime in traffic and then stuff like that, I can kind of see that the low beams were aimed a little bit down. So the low beams are bright, but that's all that's on right now. So it's just the outer lights that's on right now. But then when I hit the thing for the high beams, when I hit the switch for the high beams, you're gonna see the high beams come on. So I'm actually gonna get in the car, and when this light right here goes out in my garage, we'll be able to see how it's projecting on the wall over here. All right, so my garage light, and it was taking a little bit to go out. It wasn't going out as fast as I wanted to. But right now, like on the garage door, you can kind of see like how the light pattern is projected on the garage door. and that's with the low beams, and that's with the high beams right there. So these things get pretty bright. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna let the garage back up. That way you guys can kind of see the light pattern on the wall. All right, so that right there, that's the pattern of the low beam, and this right here is the high beam. So you can tell the difference right there. So, and these things really do get bright. So I was down, you know, coming up through one of these back roads here, and these things really do put out some good light. So the low beam is sufficient. Like I said, they were aimed down a little bit, so I did have to like adjust them upward so they project better. But man, this is a big improvement, even over the LED bulbs that I had in those globes. So I just wanted to update the video with this footage right here, so everybody can kind of see the light output of the light. So I'm happy with them, and I think they're gonna last a while too by them being LED. I think they were pretty good price and everything like that. So I'm pretty happy with the upgrade. Everything came out good on this project. All right, so thank you guys for hanging out. Another episode of Cool Fred's Garage, where I put these LED headlights in here. So if it's anything helpful on the channel, please like the video, subscribe to the channel. So you see my cool Back to the Future shirt that I got here. So you know, I just grabbed it out of the closet. My first time wearing that, by the way. But so Back to the Future. We're bringing this Back to the Future. That's what this is. Making classic cars modern in some way, some form of fashion, but also keeping, you know, a classic touch to them. So that's kind of the main thing I want to do. I want to do something to keep a classic touch to the car, just to kind of, you know, modernize it a little bit, and also something that's going to put out some pretty good light. So, but again, thank you guys for checking out Cool Fred's Garage. Like the video, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, all that good stuff. So I got some more exciting content coming up that I'm gonna be doing in this car right here, so you guys stay tuned.